Hi everyone, I'm Ken
And I'm Julie.
and we've gone caravanning. In tonight's episode, we want to bring you a supplement episode to our last video, We Have Blown the Budget number 3. So I just wanted to thank everybody. We had a lot of viewers watch that video. A lot of people commented, liked and subscribed. So thank you everybody for that. But one of the comments that came in just made me think a little bit about the video we present to you. So I'm going to read you that comment and then we're going to cover a little bit more about things. So the comment came from Janet and she said, your budget of $1,000 per week is scary. I'm planning to get an RV next year and travel around Australia. I only get $500 per week. I'm planning to run off grid at least 4 to 5 days per week. I'm setting my RV up that way. However, fuel costs is horrific. I'm going to tow a small SUV. So let me apologise to Jeanette and everybody else if our budget is a little bit scary. It's not meant to be scary, it's meant to be helpful, and so we do apologise if it is scary to some people. What we thought we'd do is we would just dive a little deeper into our numbers and show you ways where you could save if you're looking to do a budget that's say $500 a week or whatever your budget is, to help you work out what your budget is. This is our budget for many reasons, which we will try to talk about right now. So we're going to go through the numbers the same way we did before. So the first one we did last week when we brought that budget out is we spoke about the fuel costs. So we've been on the road for 24 weeks. The fuel costs have been $5,521, which equates to about $230 a week. Now, as Jeanette said, that may be horrific to some people. But for us, we have to be home in December. We have commitments in December. Julie's sister's flying out from England. So we don't have the luxury of being able to slow down. Now, if you slow down, you can save a lot of money in the fuel costs alone. We're doing those kilometres each week. There's some things you can get out of, but if you're going to do a lap around Australia, you can't get out of doing the kilometres. The only thing you can change is how fast you do them. So I think we mentioned in the last video about when we were in Broome, we stayed in Broome for 17 days. So the fuel costs while we were in Broome were way down. Yeah. We paid high site fees, which is a different category, but the fuel costs were right down. Yeah. And as we go down now, we are looking to save money, as you guys know, and we're staying in places for 9 days at a time, and 9 days at the next stop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be staying in Perth for 2 weeks, and we'll be looking to certainly chop those fuel costs down. So there's one, how fast you travel. If you know the time frame you've got, if you've got 2 years, then you could chop that fuel cost in half straight away. For us, we need to be home. We're doing this in 10 months. So that's what it is for us. Site fees.
Well, we like to stay in caravan parks generally.
Yeah.
We do a bit of free camp when we're travelling from A to B.
Yep.
Like for a night or two, depending on the distance that we're travelling. But other than that, our cost does include site fees.
As Julie says, we mainly stay in caravan parks. We don't have the solar capacity or the inverters or the new systems in this van. We have one 120 watt lithium battery. That's all we have. So to stay off grid for too long is not ideal for us. We did do it for 3 or 4 days. We did it at Caravan for 3 days. Yeah.
And I guess because we do stay at sites, caravan parks, we are members of, say, the Big Four G'day parks and NRMA, and the more that you stay at those certain parks, you start gaining discounts.
Yes.
So you choose and look to choose parks that you're members of.
Yeah. And we don't mind. When we stayed at Kalbarri recently, we paid extra because we had the park we stayed in all had ensuite sites, didn't we?
They were all ensuite.
And for 9 nights, that was a bit of luxury,
There
wasn't it?
was no sites that weren't ensuite.
So we could have stayed in town and paid less money.
Yeah. I don't think it was less actually.
In town?
Because I think we got the G'day Park deal.
Yeah. But there are, what I'm saying is there are options. We could find cheaper alternatives to stay if we wanted to. Yeah. Whether that be when we go into showgrounds or farm stays, there are cheaper alternatives. Yeah. We just choose to mainly stay in caravan parks. Yeah. So there is a lot of money to be saved there, and it really depends on how you want to travel and what you want. If it's hot, Julie's not much good in the hot temperatures, so if it's hot,
I need a bit of aircon.
We want the air conditioning. We're not carrying a generator. We don't have the inverters to run it, so therefore we stay in a caravan park. All right, so there is lots to be saved in the site fees. Our site fees were $7,000 so far. I'm sure you can. Is it the other thing about we don't do nothing well? So if we was parked in a roadside camp for 3 or 4 days,
we wouldn't know what to do.
We'd be bored out of our brains. We're not readers. I have read in the pub, been a reader at times in my life, but at the moment we're not readers. We're not painters. We have no great hobbies. If you can got things you can do, that would be wonderful. You know what I mean?
And the other thing is, staying in the parks, you've always got power and water, and we like having that.
Yeah. So all budgets are different. For us, we like to stay in the caravan park. So, eating out. So we spent $1,045 on eating out. We don't eat out a lot. One of the things we decided when we left home that we were not going to eat out breakfast every day, and we weren't going to buy coffees every day.
And we don't.
We don't eat out every day. We eat out a couple of days a week. We'll go and have some bacon and eggs and whatever at a cafe or a restaurant somewhere. We do like to do that, so we do that. But yeah, I can do a bacon and egg roll just as good as they can, So
I guess the coffee's out is what we enjoy.
Yeah. So we get 2 coffees. We've spent $685 in coffee. Now that was really only from that week 12, so we probably have spent $1,000 in coffee, and that was something we said we wouldn't do. But when you're travelling, I love my coffee. But and we do make some coffees in the van. But yeah, I guess we could cut that down. I personally, like I said, it fits into the budget for us. Every person has a different budget, so easily you could save $1,000 there for sure. Shopping. I think Jeanette, I'm just assuming Jeanette that you might be single, so therefore our food bill, which is $5,392, or it's food and other things that we bring back to the van, paper towels and toilet rolls and whatever we bring back, clean soap powder and stuff like that. Yeah. So is $5,392. Obviously that's going to be half the price if you're one person, or maybe not quite half, but yeah. So there's a lot to be saved there. But on the other side of that, if you're a family and you've got kids, well then you're feeding more people again, so that yours might have to be a little bit dearer in that department. Just on that, in that little segment there, we don't drink much alcohol. We do enjoy a drink, and if we go to a winery, we will buy a bottle of wine and drink a bottle of wine, but we don't do that every day, do we?
No, so our budgets.
So if you're a drinker, you need to factor that into your budget as well.
We're not big drinkers, and neither of us smoke. So
yeah, we're not smokers either. I was for many years, but we're not now. So yeah, so there are other things that need to be taken into consideration in your budget.
Which is your personal
Yeah.
things.
We're still getting haircuts and doing things like that, aren't we? There's other things we still do.
I
But
colour my own hair now.
while we're away, Julie's been colouring her own hair. Yeah,
Cut
normally
hair.
she would go to the
Cover up
hairdresser.
those greys.
It's not that easy to get into a hairdresser when you get into towns, is it?
No. Oh no, not always.
Um,
I just get a cut done.
yeah, so, you know, there could be some differences in the shopping there. There's 2 people to 1 person to a family of 4 or 5. So, tours. We don't do, if you had it on a big budget, we didn't go to see the Horizon Falls. Horizontal Falls,
We
sorry.
don't do big cost tour items.
No, but we do try to do, if they're important, we do them. We do them. In Broome, we did the Sunset Dinner Cruise.
That was nice.
In Nitmanook, we did the Two Gorge Cruise.
Yeah.
We do them. But, yeah.
But generally, we like the natural nature of exploring.
Yeah. Just on that, well, something we talked about today is we'll be putting, we put $100 worth of fuel in the car yesterday. We're here at Geraldton for 4 days, and we drove out to Merriwa, is it?
Merriwa.
And Pindabar, to look at some wildflowers.
Pindar.
So we spent probably $60 or $70 on fuel yesterday. We drove 280 something kilometres at least yesterday to go look at some wildflowers. I mean, that's what we're here. That's kind of one of the main reasons we're here at this time of year.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't. There was no need to really spend that money, but yeah, that was something we wanted to do. And if you were unlimited, then there was another 2 loops you could have done there. We could have done 500 kilometres of driving to do looking at wildflowers yesterday, couldn't we?
Yeah. We might still do that tomorrow.
Yeah, they're still on the cards for tomorrow. On the hunt for a wreath flower,
Yes.
which is very rare and only in this part of the world. Yeah. Okay, TV and phones again. So we pay $170 something for our Starlink a month. If you add that and a couple of other little things I have that to do with the YouTube situation, and we're talking about $55 a week that we are spending on them, that we don't, if we weren't doing that, we wouldn't have those expenses, would we? We could survive on our phones.
Yeah. Which is $30 each a month.
I think I'm only on 25.
Prepaid plans
Yeah, so we could survive on them.
that are unlimited.
So, you know, but it depends what internet you need. We want that high-speed internet, so we're prepared to pay the $45 a week for Starlink. If we're uploading videos, I was in a situation when we were at home where we'd be uploading for 10 hours. Very rarely now is it over an hour.
Yeah, Starlink's
so
pretty good.
Starlink is pretty good, yeah. And then we have the costs in other. So, I don't know, with this hairdos, bits for the van. I had to buy some memory card for me laptop. Clothes, we've bought clothes. I got your lobster in there. Julie was dead keen on getting a lobster. We paid $100 for a lobster, just to have one meal, a lobster, so we did that.
So when we go into towns, we spend money in the towns.
Yeah, we do. We bought presents and sent them home.
Yeah.
You know, I can see there a book we bought and different things we've bought and sent them home. There's a few tyre repairs in there as well. Yeah, so...
An oil filter and an air filter today?
Yeah, so today, we've done mainly all the red dirt and stuff now. So today I did go in, and even though we had the car serviced in Darwin and it doesn't need it yet, I did go in today and spent $100 in Super Cheap Auto, and we bought a fuel filter and an air filter, and we changed them in the car today.
Yep.
So just to make sure that everything's
Because
good.
the air filter was a bit red, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the fuel filter was not looking, was a
bit
bit ordinary
bit
as well,
black.
I can tell you, yeah. Yeah.
And that could be some of the dodgy fuel that you get.
Yeah, you never know what's going in the tank at some of these places there. So, you know, we've spent money on that today. So, yeah. I'm not sure what else. Julie, other ways to save money? There are lots of ways to save money. I guess that's the point we're trying to say. If we scared anybody saying $1,000 a week, we are sorry.
So I guess what some people might do, they might be happy to do a lot of off-the-grid free camping everywhere, but then they can afford the high-ticket tours prices. Yeah. But we're the other way, so because that doesn't worry us too much having and doing
so
lots of
where
tours.
we're staying at Geraldton here, we're on the beach. The beach is 50 metres away from us here, and that's really what we love.
Beach walking.
We love beach walking and hiking
watching.
and whale watching and going for a swim and stuff like that. So it's not really, but we run into lots of people who just love bush camping. That's just not us. So there are many opportunities for free camping everywhere you go.
And these days the free camps are pretty busy, aren't they?
They are, yep.
Yeah.
We did stay in a few 24-hour stops, and that last one, there must have been 100 people in there that night. So you know the opportunity is there to save money.
So you don't have to feel like you're alone in them, do you?
No, you don't. No, definitely not. All right, look, we're going to leave it at that. Like I said, we just thought we'd do this little supplementary video
to explain. This is like our trip. Everyone's trip will be different.
Everyone's trip will be different. Everyone's budget will be different.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be scary. And certainly, as Jeanette and $500 a week and the setup that she's planning to do, I would think it's very much achievable. Like I said, so if you're spending too much on fuel, stop, slow down.
That's what we've been told, haven't we?
Yeah, and we've done that, and it definitely works, and we'll be doing a bit more of that in the next.
Only because we're slowing down now.
Stop, slow down.
Yeah.
Yep, you can always stay in a free camp for a few days. And just a little tip, when we went into Denham, and we drove all the way into Denham, we weren't booked in that night and couldn't get in that night. Our go-to is always the little industrial areas in these towns. You go to the little industrial areas, you can always find somewhere just to pull up. Now, you might get woken up with a truck going by in the morning or something like that, people going to work or something like that.
But that's mainly when you pull up late
when you
night,
come in late into a town,
and you're going to just bed down for,
just the night before you go into a caravan park. That's our go-to.
And get up the next morning and leave.
Yeah, the gravel pit, the light industrial areas in some of these towns, stuff like that. All right, we'll leave it at that, eh? Thanks for watching. Yeah. We'll see you in the next budget.
And all the best.
Cheerio.
See ya.
Late tip, everybody. If you're concerned or worried about what the cost of your budget might be when travelling around Australia, watch as many YouTube videos as you can. There's lots of information out there.